What's up everyone, 94K here. What you just saw was the Z Fold 2 5G. Why they didn't call it the Fold 2, I don't know. But it's an amazing phone, and we'll get to it at the end of the video because I'm super pumped about it. So today, Samsung Unpacked happened. It was early in the morning, 9 a.m. for me. They went over all of their new hardware, phones, watches, tablets, beans, and then the Fold 2. Starting out with the phones, you have two models, the Note 20 and the Note 20 Ultra. We'll get to the Note 20 in a bit, but so the Note 20 Ultra, 6.9-inch display, 120 Hz, 1440p. You cannot do those at the same time, even though the display will now go back and forth between 60 and 120. So it'll go to 60 when you don't necessarily need that 120. So if you're just stagnant on the home screen or anything like that, but when you're scrolling through things, it'll switch to that 120 Hz to give you that nice, smooth experience. The battery on this is 4,500 milliamp hours, so they lowered it from the S20 Ultra for whatever reason. I wish they would have just made a thicker battery and gave the phone a little bit more thickness. I think that would have been worth it to potentially be able to do the 1440p 120, because that's kind of the gold standard, is that 1440p 120, because we don't need 4K on phones because they're small screens in the end, so I don't think that difference is going to be as noticeable. And the 120 Hz is, well, super smooth to use and fantastic to use. It makes a really big difference in your actual phone experience. The camera for this was a 108 megapixel sensor on the main, and then you also then have the telephoto and wide angle. For that telephoto, it is the periscope again, so you can get that 5x optical, and then you have a 50x digital zoom. They didn't do the 100 because they probably realized that was unnecessary and made no sense at all, and no one was ever going to use it, so they dropped that down to 50, which I still think is probably unlikely that people are really going to be using that 50 times zoom. So this phone comes in multiple colors. It comes in Mystic Black, Mystic Silver, Mystic Green, and then the one that they're showing off across all devices is Mystic Bronze, which looks amazing. So for the pen, the main selling point of these phones, the latency is down to 9 milliseconds. How they do that is by doing a prediction of where they think you're going to draw next, and that helps bring that down. So this gives you a smoother writing experience and makes it better overall and closer to how the Apple Pencil experience is, but on a phone, which no other phones have this good of a stylus experience and integration with their phone. This is where we start talking about the Note 20. So with this Note 20, you don't have that 9 millisecond, it is 26. And so minimal difference. I think most people won't actually notice it, but it is something to consider, and that's something that some people may notice when they're writing. It's not showing up quick and snappy like it would be on the Note 20 Ultra. You have a flat display now on the Note 20, which is super nice, rather than having that curved edges, but it's only 60 Hz and it's only 1080p. And even though the Note 20 Ultra only works 120 1080p, you at least have the 120 Hz to compensate for kind of those pixels maybe stretching a bit. On the Note 20, you don't have that. You just got 1080p 60, which is a really sucky thing. The hole punch is also bigger on the Note 20, so it's not as slim as it is bezel-wise on the Note 20 Ultra. And then one of the things that I'm just wondering, why would you do this? So another 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, no expandable storage, so you're taking away one of the most important things with Samsung phones. Yes, you had that in the Note 10 as well, and the Verizon S20, but at least in the Note 10 you got 256 gigs of storage, so taking that micro SD card slot away wasn't as bad. So the last thing that just makes this phone why is this $1,000? It has a plastic back. On a $1,000 phone, it's a plastic back. The Pixel 3a, which just released at $350, has a plastic back. Why they chose to do this, I have no idea. I just cut costs somewhere else. Cut the 5G if you have to. This phone, it feels like they basically made this phone to be like, hey, here's this crappy phone, and here's this fantastic phone that's $300 more. Buy this one. Don't buy this one because it sucks. and you can get better phones for this price, and it's literally a worse value than a Note 10 is. It's just, I don't understand why Samsung's doing this. It doesn't make any sense, and it just, I feel, should anger people, because this phone, you can get so many better phones for a cheaper price or the same price. The S20 is probably a better deal than this is. You're just getting a pen. If you really want the pen, the Note 20 Ultra is 100% the way to go, or get a Note 10 Plus. That is probably going to be almost a better phone than the Note 20 is. So it's what they did. I don't like it. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's my opinion. Moving on to the next announcement was tablets. So they announced two new tablets, Tab 7, Tab 7 Plus, 11 inches, 12.4. On the 11 inch, it's an LCD screen. On the 12.4 inch with a Tab S7 Plus, it is an AMOLED that's 120 Hertz, which is a really nice addition. This really is now making it kind of compete with the iPad Pro. I don't think it's there quite yet when it comes to that experience of a tablet, but it's definitely getting there, and they're starting to push more and more closer towards being a real competitor for it. On the Tab S7 Plus keyboard, they added function keys, which is a nice benefit because a lot of tablet keyboards don't have that. Apple's doesn't. There's some third parties that do, but right out of the box from Samsung, you're getting those function keys, which is a nice addition. After the tab, they talked about the Galaxy Watch. This looks really similar to the S3 Classic. It's a 45mm and a 41mm. You get new added medical features, so you're getting ECG, you're getting blood pressure, which they even say in there is not the most accurate, so just remember that if that's your main use for it. Just get a cuff, because that's going to be more accurate in the end. And then they're also adding blood oxygen saturation. So these three things are coming to the Galaxy Watch 3. It sounded like they may not be right when it drops. It's going to be a software update. So hopefully that software update comes as promised and it doesn't fall short or anything like that, or just get really pushed out far. After the watch, they talked about Galaxy Buds Live, or as I call them, and everyone should call them, the Galaxy Buds Beans. These things look like beans. I don't care what you say. Look at this. It's a bean life. Galaxy Bud Beans. That's what you should call them. These earbuds do look actually pretty decent though, hopefully improving upon the Galaxy Buds Plus, which have been really heavily positive reviews and just good experiences. I've personally never tried them, but I've never heard a bad thing about them yet. So these are, they called them open ear. I've never heard this terminology before for earbuds, but so it's not your typical ear tip. It's kind of this more open style, and it looks like how it kind of stays in your ear is kind of on that bottom cartilage there. It kind of hooks into that. So be interesting to see how these are. 6 hours of battery life, 24 hours with the case. And then you do have active noise canceling, something that the others don't have. And lastly, the Z Fold 2. This thing is just gorgeous. I want it so bad. Take all of my money, Samsung, for this, because you can have it. This phone is fantastic. The front display now is a 6.2 inch display. The inside is a 7.4 inch display. Both are hole punches. They improved the cameras on the back to be more similar to like the S series and the Notes. You now have 120 Hertz on the inside display. Amazing. That's mainly what you're interacting for, so it's okay that it's not on the front, because you open that up to that 7.4 inch screen and you have 120 Hertz display. It's amazing. This technology is fantastic. They improved upon the hinge, similar to like the Z Flip, where they hadn't had those bushels or brushes where that hinge was. They now have that for the Z Fold to help improve the hinge and stop getting dust in there and other things like other debris. For the display, they said it does have a glass display on it, and they said it's like this ultra thin glass that can fold. They threw up MKBHD's video saying that it wasn't glass and everything like that, because glass doesn't fold. So now they're claiming this is glass. We'll see if it actually is when teardowns and other things come through with it. If it breaks, it's glass. But if it doesn't break, I doubt it's glass, or it's a very weird type of glass, which it kind of seems like it since it's ultra thin. But glass is glass and glass breaks. It's as simple as that. So if this doesn't break, it's probably not full glass. It does have a plastic layer above that, So that's mainly what you'll be interacting with. So it's not a full glass display in the sense of that's what you're interacting with. You're interacting with a protective plastic layer above it, kind of like those plastic screen protectors. So that's it for Samsung Unpacked. The event itself was cringy, to say the least, and not great compared to Apple's or even OnePlus's AR event. So be with that as is. The hardware is good. It's improving. Software is improving. It's exciting to see what Samsung is doing. I really hope they keep pushing the envelope with these folds and everything. So kudos to them for that. There's more coming on that Z Fold September 1st. I will 100% get you to that. But until the next video, stay safe. See you then. Peace out.